Okay guys, so just continuing on this second part of the project, what I thought I'd do is try and give you a little bit of a feel for the type of direction that I think I'm going to be heading in with this, and some of the bits and pieces that I've purchased that I think are going to help me with this project. So I've only spent around about £30 or something like that, and I think I've got hold of some bits and pieces which I think are going to help me head in the general direction that I think I'm going to end up in. So let me just get them all in order. So first things first, what I want to do is fix those hoops around the outside of the barrel there and make sure that those staves, which are the wooden slats in the barrel, I want to make sure that they are nice and tight to the hoops. So I've got these, there's 200 in total. They are 19mm by 4.2mm self-tapping screws. They're in black because what I'm going to do is I'm going to take all of the rust off of the hoops and I'm going to paint those in black. What else have I got? The other thing I've got is a couple of drill bits just to help me drill a pilot hole through the hoops so that it's nice and easy to get those screws into the metal and then ultimately into the timber. In terms of getting the rust off of those hoops, I've bought some drill bits here. So as you can see, we've got these little things here that fit into your drill, and hopefully it's just a matter of going around the outside of those. There's quite a few in here. These were quite cheap on Amazon. Had I been doing a number of these, I might have bought some more expensive versions of these, but seeing as I'm only going to be doing one barrel, I thought we'll go cheap and cheerful. So the idea of that is just blitz around the outside of those hoops, take most of the rust off, give myself a decent kind of keyed surface to paint once I'm done. Similarly, I've gone for a similar approach for the actual staves of the barrel. So eventually those are going to get sanded down, and these are little sanding discs which again go into your drill. Again, I'm going for cheap and cheerful and quick and dirty and easy. I've also got like a little Bosch palm sander which I'll use to help with that as well. And then this is getting on towards the back end of the project, just before we're ready to kind of varnish and seal and so on. I've got some heat resistant silicone here which I'm going to use. This is in black. I'm going to use up the inside of the barrel just to make sure it's completely sealed. I think because the barrel's been used as a smoker in the past, a lot of the moisture has come out of that and it's very dry, and I don't think we're ever going to get it to the stage where it'll be watertight again. But what we know is that we need to get it to a stage where it's going to retain most of its smoke, and I think that that's going to help massively. One of the other issues that I think that we're going to have with this is that the barrel has been it's been cut quite crudely. So I think somebody's had either a circular saw or maybe even a jigsaw or some sort of angle grinder to separate the top from the main barrel pit. So I think I'm going to have to do a little bit of remedial work to make sure that they marry up properly and that they're sanded down and that they create a decent seal. The problem with that is that if I start messing with that, I'm going to create gaps all around the outside of the barrel, which is then going to leak smoke. So I've got some of this very cheap and cheerful gasket tape here, which is a felt gasket tape, which I'm going to put all around the top of the lid and then all around the interconnecting piece of the base. So those are the bits and pieces I've bought so far. Next step for this project is to crack on with getting these wooden staves reconnected to these hoops properly. So here's just a little update on some of the work that I've been doing. Good bit of sanding down on the main body of the barrel. Lots of hole filling. You'll see that one of the hoops is off at the moment. That's going to be reshaped, shortened just a little bit, just to make sure that these staves go back together nice and level. And then over here you'll see again the top, quite a lot of work gone on here. I've tried to get the top as clean and tidy and level as possible, and what you've got in there is some wood filler which is just going off at the moment. It may seem a bit excessive, but that'll sand down quite nicely. and this top hoop here has been reattached just to make sure that the smaller staves here stay nice and steady. And next step really will just be some staining and some sealing. And I think from my point of view, another thing that I want to kind of address is some of the issues that we've got with the timbers inside here. So as you can see, there's some quite big gaps, and there's also quite a lot of burnt material on the inside there. So I'm going to be going around and scraping that off, and I might even try and provide some sort of seal to this as well. But it's in these gaps here that I'm going to be trying to get some of that heat-proof sealant in there as well to try and seal this up again. So that's about it for part 2 of this project. I've put quite a lot of work in so far, and actually the toughest and nastiest job was obviously the sanding and the rubbing down. The barrel was absolutely filthy, and you know, the wood's really dry, quite rotted in some places. So the sanding down and filling, I'm really glad that that's done. And actually, you know, the next process is probably the most enjoyable part of the process, which is going to be kind of staining the wood. I've gone for a dark oak stain. I'm hoping that the darker I go, the more of a multitude of sins the actual stain will cover up, in terms of the fact that I'm using some black heat resistant sealant on the inside of the barrel. Some of that starts to seep out towards the outer side of the staves. The fact that I've stained the barrel in dark oak could hide that a little bit. Once all the timbers are actually stained up, I'm also going to be clear varnishing them as well, adding 4, maybe even 5 layers of clear varnish, just to give this barrel some weather resistance, some heat resistance, you know. Because it's a cold smoker, there's not going to be a ton of heat going on in there. And I think that the previous owner, or the owner previous to that, in fact I know it wasn't the previous owner because I know he didn't use it, but the previous owner to that, you know, I think their fire management might have gone a bit askew some way, because there's been a fire inside that barrel. You can tell from all of that fire damage that's in there. So addressing that's going to be another concern, and I'm thinking about scraping that down, sanding it down, sealing it with something, I'm not sure what yet. So thank you for watching. Please do comment on the video. Let me know if you think I'm going wrong. It's going to be a few days now until I conduct any more work on this barrel, because I've got some personal work to be getting on with. You know, so if you think I'm heading down the wrong route, give me a shout, because it's going to be really helpful to know prior to me making silly mistakes. Video 2 will be coming up very, very soon, and I'll speak to you guys soon. Thanks for watching.